didn't put roll call here, but it is roll call. For the
New aunt? New great aunt?
I am, yes.
Congratulations. You've always been a great aunt. Oh, great. Hey, did you look at your letter? Mine says trustee Bruce. I already initialed.
We'll have to figure out what we want to do. I know we're going to have the easement.
You've been nice with
agreement from Bill Payne.
Right, because that one. Yeah.
That might be one that.
So you gotta, I think we're supposed to initial the letter and the envelope. And so I did, if not,
I sent you the PayPal. Oh, you did? Yeah. I hadn't logged in my PayPal in like years. I was like, it still worked. I have a couple call
mine over there.
Oh, do you? Okay. Hopefully some big ones.
Might have been.
Yeah, Wesley made one.
Yeah.
All right, we ready? Let's do it. You all stand. Good evening, everyone, and we'll recite the Pledge of Allegiance and a response before we commence the meeting. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
They don't play tonight.
Yeah, they played tonight.
All right.
Why do you think I?
Clerk DeMarco, will you please call the roll?
Trustee Damstra,
Here.
Trustee Carter,
Here.
Trustee Hurwitz,
Here.
Trustee Prose,
Here.
Treasurer Moran,
Here.
Clerk DeMarco here, Supervisor Korth.
Here. Thank you. We have a standard agenda in front of us tonight that has the normal sections in it. We do have a closed session with the board at the end for a matter we're discussing with our attorneys. Would someone move to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and support by Dan Hurwitz and Dan Carter, who seconded it. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. All right, so we'll move into the general township business. It's the motion to approve the minutes and accept and file reports, communications under the consent agenda. We have approval of township board meetings from our regular board meeting on April 13th. Our closed session meeting minutes also on April 13th. And then receive and file various reports and communications, which includes the Thornapple River Pedestrian Bridge Progress Meeting number 6 minutes of April 17th, and the Pettis Avenue Trail Phase 2 Warranty Review punch list of April 20th. So
Move approval of the minutes and ask that the accept the file reports and communications under the consent agenda. Second.
So moved by Trustee Prose, supported by Trustee Carter. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. All right, we'll move on to the next item, item 7A, which is the Township General warrants. Trustee Moran, will you please present the warrants?
Thank you, Supervisor Korth. Good evening, everybody. Tonight, Monday, April 27th, 2026, we have hand checks that total $166,920.58. And we have warrants that total of $1,371,404.96 for a total of all hand checks and warrants of $1,538,325.54.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone have any questions on those items that were presented in our packets? If seeing no one ask questions, would someone move to approve the warrants report for April 7th or April 27th?
Move to approve the warrant report for Monday, April 27th, 2026, in the amount of $1,538,325.54.
Support.
We have a motion by Trustee Hurwitz, supported by Trustee Damstra. This is a roll call. Clerk DeMarco, will you please call the roll?
Supervisor Korth,
Aye.
Clerk DeMarco, aye. Treasurer Moran.
Aye.
Trustee Prose.
Aye.
Trustee Hurwitz.
Aye.
Trustee Carter.
Aye.
Trustee Damstra.
Aye.
Thank you. Move on to item 7B, consider the Thornapple River Pedestrian Bridge Pay Application Number 4 from Grand River Construction Incorporated in the amount of $146,515.96. Ryan Aarons is here to present that to us tonight. Good evening.
Good evening. Ryan Aarons with Moore and Brugink, Township Engineer. Thank you, Supervisor Korth. Have in front of you this evening pay request number 4 for the Thornapple River Pedestrian Bridge project. It is in the amount of $146,515.96. This is for work completed in the month of March. Pay estimate includes the remainder of the mobilization cost on the project, some additional traffic control, and then reinforcement steel, substructure concrete, simulated masonry. All those are related to Pier 1 that they poured on the north side of the river. And then there's also some riprap and some excavation and backfill of the foundations on this pay estimate.
Reading the various things, everything is on track, barring the fact that it's been so wet, but if it dries out, things can get caught up?
Yes, so this week, the pile placement for the boardwalk should be complete. Riverworks has started the framing of the boardwalk. Riverworks consequently is going to finish up the conservation boardwalk here in the next 2 weeks and then mobilize crews from there over here to finish the boardwalk here. They're thinking by the end of May they will have the boardwalk finished up. You should see concrete work in Legacy Park happen probably sometime next week or early the following week. And I talked with Grand River Construction today. They're thinking probably the end of May at this point for the bridge set. They should have the PIC plan to us for review and to the Road Commission for review possibly as early as for our progress meeting this week Friday. So.
Great. Good news. Thank you. Any other questions? If not, let's move to approve.
I have a quick question, Ryan. Maybe you can help me. I've seen riprap throughout this board packet today, and I know what it is, but I don't. Why do they call it riprap?
So it's the large stones that you see that they place on the face of the foundations on the stream side. And sometimes you'll also see them place them down a hill. It's to prevent erosion.
Correct.
So
I just wonder why they called it riprap. I mean, it's just stones, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, that is the
Wrapped up.
technical
is it
name.
wrapped up? I mean,
So sometimes it is.
Sometimes it is.
sometimes it is.
If you walk on the Road Commission Bridge and look right in between the Road Commission Bridge and our bridge, there is some, it's almost wrapped in like a wire
Gotcha.
mesh
Okay.
to keep it from falling down.
Gotcha.
So,
Because I've seen other pictures, and I again, thanks for clarifying. Just curious.
A riprap or large rocks.
Okay.
Just something little, but I'm gonna point it out. On your request for payment on the AIA form,
okay.
Mary Bradley, oh, signed it digitally. Okay, never mind. My mistake.
You move approval of the Thornapple River Pedestrian Bridge Project Pay Application Number 4 to Grand River Construction in the amount of $146,515.96.
Support.
Thank you. Moved by Trustee Hurwitz, supported by Trustee Damstra for the payment of $146,515.96. This is a roll call vote.
Supervisor Korth.
Aye.
Clerk DeMarco, aye. Treasurer Moran.
Aye.
Trustee Prose.
Aye.
Trustee Damstra.
Aye.
Trustee Carter.
Aye.
Trustee Hurwitz.
Aye.
Great, thank you. Okay, so the next one is to consider the Conservation Boardwalk Improvement Project Pay Application Number 1 from Grand River Construction for the amount not to exceed $95,323.50. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Supervisor Korth. This pay estimate is for the month of March. The work completed there by Riverworks Construction. During that month, we had some payment for some traffic control, soil erosion, and sedimentation control measures, and they also completed the clearing and grubbing of brush along the existing boardwalk. They removed the existing boardwalk, and they placed all of the timber piles for the boardwalk section during the month of March. This pay estimate is recommended for $95,323.50, and that is with 10% retainage withheld.
Okay.
As I mentioned, that project is progressing as well. I talked with Riverworks today. They anticipate being done with that either the end of this week or the end of the following week. It all depends on when they receive their mini mesh chain link fencing. That's the last item they're waiting on.
Great. Anybody got any questions? If not, would someone move to approve?
I'll move that we approve the Conservation Boardwalk Improvement Project pay application number 1 to Grand River Construction in the amount of $95,323.50.
Support.
We have moved by trustee Carter, supported by treasurer Moran, to pay Grand River Construction. This is a roll call vote, please. Clerk DeMarco.
Supervisor Korth,
Aye.
Clerk DeMarco, aye. Treasurer Moran,
Aye.
Trustee Prose,
Aye.
Trustee Carter,
Aye.
Trustee Hurwitz,
Aye.
Trustee Damstra.
Aye.
Okay, move on to consider the Hall Street Lift Station and Sanitary Sewer Force Main Improvement Project pay application number 6 from Kaminga and Rudvo for an amount not to exceed $439,063.30.
I thought so. I already
Sorry.
Thank you, Supervisor Korth. So yeah, I have in front of you pay application, pay request number 6 for the Hall Street Lift Station. This is for work performed through March 31st. So there was some work done through the course of the winter months. So a couple of months worth of work here, but the vast majority of it was done here recently in March. And the majority of this is for the actual lift station work itself. The lift station has been started up now. It's functioning, pretty much nearing completion. The only remaining items are a little bit of site restoration, some landscaping that we talked about at our last meeting, and then some minor HMA repairs, and that one will be buttoned up. So I know we struggled with consumers and had some delays related to them, but kind of came together, and yeah, light at the end of the tunnel. So.
Yeah, it looked like that landscaping was installed today. Looks nice.
Oh, it was? Okay. I was unaware that K&R did not tell me that. So.
Looks nice.
So the lift station actually going into action when it was uneventful? In other words, it went smoothly?
Correct, yeah, startup went well. And yeah, it's been running since the 17th, and we haven't had any issues yet.
That's great.
Yes.
Sorry, Stephanie, I'm sure you're now gonna get a bunch of calls.
Does anyone have any other questions? If not, would someone move to approve this pay application?
I move to approve the Hall Street Sanitary Sewer Force Main Lift Station Project Pay Application number 6 to Kaminga and Roadvotes in the amount of $439,063.30.
Support.
Motion. Supported by trustee Damstra. This is a roll call vote. Clerk DeMarco, will you call the roll, please?
Supervisor Korth,
Aye.
Clerk DeMarco, aye. Treasurer Moran,
Aye.
Trustee Prose,
Aye.
Trustee Damstra,
Aye.
Trustee Carter,
Aye.
Trustee Hurwitz.
Aye.
Thank you very much, Ryan. I appreciate it. Okay, we're now at the first public comment opportunity of the evening. Would any members of the public like to come up and speak on any subject that they'd like to speak about?
Good evening, Stephanie Kozel with F&V Operations. I just wanted to let you guys know that the fiber is coming fast and furious. So we have a bunch of mistigs to do before Thursday or Friday this week. So if any of you get any questions about the Ada side, Ada Ridge, Ricks, Spring Green, neighborhoods, or the streets, that's why. It's for fiber, so. And I can get you guys a list of the streets so that you can communicate it with people that call. Okay?
Wait, I
Yes.
missed, what's happening?
Fiber
Oh,
install.
fiber
Yeah, I think it's T-Mobile.
Yeah, okay,
Yep.
okay. Thank you very much.
Yep, you're welcome.
All right.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Justin Ellickson Andrews, 8683 Conservation Street. I'm here to talk about the gun club. I thought about writing another impassioned speech, but then I figured that probably at this point it's going to come off patronizing to all of you, not only because I've spoken on it before, but I've had the opportunity to serve alongside several of you for well over a year now, so I feel like I've earned some clout. So we know what we're talking about here. But just as a friendly reminder, on September the 8th, we went to court. Judge O'Hara ordered a safety inspection, and by my account, we are now here pushing 8 months. And to my knowledge as the public, we're still wondering what the results of that safety inspection are. I appreciate the need for discretion. So I just want to say, under no uncertain terms, do I or any residents feel safe in our homes, especially under, in light of recent events, including Saturday, which I'll play just a clip of what we had the pleasure of listening to beginning at 10 a.m. I think it's kind of ironic, it's juxtaposed against the scenery, but I digress. We enjoyed that until well after 5 o'clock, closer to 5:45, which is well after the ordinance ends. Our concern is that if something as so simple to abide by as closing on time cannot be adhered to, what faith do we have as residents to that they are abiding by the rest of the ordinance? So I just want to conclude with, I have the full faith of this board that you will act in the best interest of us, your constituents, the taxpayers of this township, as you do in everything else. There's been no other indication that I've been given that this board would do otherwise, so I'm sure you will do the right thing, and I hope that you keep in mind what we are continuing to live with on a daily basis. Thank you.
Justin, can I ask a question?
Sure.
I know correct me if I'm wrong, that's a private gun club, correct?
Yes.
And is there any criteria anywhere where they communicate what their hours of operation are?
The requirements that
Or are they supposed to and don't, or?
There are under certain circumstances, they are required to communicate and provide notice of particular shoots. Yes, the ordinance does define that.
Mm-hmm. Can you please, I personally, I can't speak for everybody else, but I'd love to hear more about what has transpired so far. You know where to find me. I'm here all day, so I'd be happy to get together. I would like to learn more about specifically what's been done so far.
Sure. Yeah, I can only speak from what I can view on my side as the public and what I've been given the opportunity to be briefed in through the township. So yeah, happy to provide my perspective. I'll offer that Julius has also been involved, and he probably has a perspective that might lend more.
Director said would be, he could provide a full background.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Sure.
That was on Saturday.
That was on Saturday.
I think there was an SCTP shoot there. I think the club was closed that day.
Mm-hmm.
There was a competition that day, because I know there was an email that went out about it, so.
Yeah, to quote, a large event, using
Yes.
their own words, which they continually struggle to operate under normal circumstances, under normal volume. And if you were to look at the record of the complaints that we've made the township aware of, I would bet you would find a trend that a lot of those fall on event days. It seems that they get overwhelmed, which is even more concerning, that they are a volunteer gun club getting overwhelmed, but yet continue to be able to operate under these conditions. So I just, trust you all are making the right decisions.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to come up? Okay, seeing no one else come up, I'll go ahead and close the first public comment of the evening and move on to the next item that has activity, which is our new business, which is Resolution 042726-1, a resolution to appoint Sangeeta Ghosh to the Planning Commission. In your packets, you had her application, my letter, we have the motion, and then we also have the nice opportunity that Sangeeta has come to the meeting tonight. So if anyone has any specific questions for her, have an opportunity to ask. But I will give a quick overview of my efforts on finding a new Planning Commission member. I first want to give a very broad and loud thank you to the service of James Moyer, who was on the commission for 5 or 6 years, I believe, and recently had to step down for health reasons. He was a very good member of the board because of his background and his deep thinking on topics, and we just appreciate his service. With respect to the current group of candidates, I interviewed 4 people individually, had a lot of interest in the position, so that I'm sure that I probably could have found more, but because I narrowed it down, but I did spend a fair amount of time on it. I think I spent 3 solid weeks working on it, on and off, obviously. Sangeeta is just an outstanding candidate for us. I mean, it just is a testament to the kind of people that live in our community. Her background with Kent County, her own credentials personally with her education and experience speaks for itself. And I just think she's going to be a great PC member, so I hope that you will approve it. Would you like to say anything tonight?
Good evening, honored board members. My name is Sangeeta Ghosh. I work for Kent County and I have lived in this community for over 30 years. I really look forward to serving the township and working with the Planning Commission. With that, I would like to thank you for considering my application and would really appreciate your vote of confidence. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
If you need, I'll make the motion that we approve the appointment of Sangeeta Ghosh to the Planning Commission.
Okay, so the resolution is worded that's a 2-year term. Remember, our terms go on 1, 2, and 3-year cycles. So this is a 2-year seat. If there's no other questions, would we have?
You know, I'll add that it's resolution R-042726-1.
All right.
Thank you.
So it's moved by Trustee Carter, supported by Trustee Hurwitz. This is a roll call vote. Please call the roll.
Trustee Damstra.
Aye.
Trustee Carter.
Aye.
Trustee Hurwitz.
Aye.
Trustee Prose.
Aye.
Treasurer Moran.
Aye.
Clerk DeMarco, aye. Supervisor Court.
Aye. Thank you. Welcome to the Planning
Congratulations.
Commission. All right, so we're going to move on to item 11B, which is the resolution R042726-2, a resolution to authorize annual application and permit for miscellaneous operations within the state highway right-of-way.
This is an annual permit request that we need to make to Michigan Department of Transportation. Our permit from 2025 has expired, and anytime F&V want to do something in the right-of-way, the Department of Transportation reminds us that we need this annual permit to do work there legally and not have any issues. So It is their standard form. It's been updated with the title and/or name of those individuals who can sign the actual application. It's myself, it's the Buildings, Facilities, Grounds Director, and it's the engineer. We don't include individual names because if those names change over the course of the year, it's the position that can apply, not the person.
Move approval of resolution R042726-2, which is the annual authorization for miscellaneous operations at the state highway right-of-way.
Second.
Thank you, gentlemen. Motion by trustee Prost, supported by trustee Carter. This is a roll call vote. Clerk DeMarco, please call the roll.
Trustee Damstra.
Aye.
Trustee Carter.
Aye.
Trustee Hurwitz.
Aye.
Trustee Prose.
Aye.
Treasurer Moran.
Aye.
Clerk DeMarco, aye. Supervisor Korth.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, so now we're on to an interesting topic, which is the introduction of the Pedestrian Safety Ordinance Chapter Title Traffic and Vehicles. DDA Director Kevin is, thank you,
Yep.
sorry, is going to lead us through that. Thanks.
Thank you, Supervisor Korth. Good evening to the Township Board. Kevin Austin, DDA Director for Ada Township. All right, so if you guys remember, back probably 3 or 4 months ago, we came to you guys and asked for the official determination to allow us to do this work for the pedestrian safety ordinance. Both the DDA and yourselves endorsed that as a pressing issue that continuously comes up. And so since that time, I have been working with the Grand Valley Metro Council, with our legal counsel, Ellie Martinez, with Bloom Sluggett, and consulting a bunch of other references and things like that to construct a pedestrian safety ordinance for traffic and vehicles that the chapter will be titled for our township. So if you guys look through your memo, you can kind of see I've outlined kind of the process that went through. There's the background of the direction, which we don't have to talk about. We got to this point after multiple efforts to make improvements, and then all official direction from the road commission to change this ordinance to then open us up to the possibility to have stop for pedestrian language at our crosswalks. So looking at the methodology and collaboration, I just want to substantiate some of this work a little bit. Regional collaboration, you can see Metro Council and some of the people that were on that regional standardization group. So 6 or 7 different municipalities, Kent County Road Commission officials, GVMC representatives, and mobile GR staff were on that. Technical consultation with our the Road Commission traffic safety engineer, TJ Likens, who's reviewed the language and approved and endorsed it for us to bring to you. Legal review, and our Kent County Sheriff's Office, Officer Jackson and Deputy Dieppe had reviewed this and sent this up their chain of command as well for enforcement procedures. Reference materials are listed there: MVC, UTC, Michigan Manual, Uniform Traffic Control Devices, and then some of the other communities' ordinances that were referenced. So looking at the structure and intent, this does create an additional chapter in the township ordinances, chapter 64 for traffic and vehicles. What is proposed in front of you guys right now is singularly focused on the right-of-way for pedestrians at crosswalks. You'll note that the key provision is an enhanced crosswalk right-of-way. Something that we kind of confronted here is that there was that desire to differentiate all crosswalks in Ada Township versus the ones that experience more pedestrian travel and more uncomfortable interactions with vehicles, i.e. almost all the mid-block crossings down here in the DDA, mid-block being ones that are unsignalized. So you go to a typical crosswalk at an intersection, you would see the traffic control signal that's there, or the pedestrian signal telling you when to cross. We have many that are unsignalized, so they're called mid-block crossings. So you can see there's a definition of an enhanced crosswalk, meaning one that otherwise defined herein that is further identified by the installation of stop for pedestrian signs or similar traffic control devices that are erected at or adjacent to the roadway crossing, providing notice to a vehicular traffic of the designated pedestrian right-of-way. KCRC got back to me with a brief revision this past weekend after this was published. Apparently they were pretty busy the previous week. And there was a slight change that I want to note with you guys right now. They did want to add rectangular rapid flashing beacons just after the word stop for pedestrian signs, comma, rectangular rapid flashing beacons. So that is just a slight change to the language that's presented to you. And they did that to include that actual device to be included in the ability for crosswalks to have these devices and to then confer the right-of-way on the pedestrian if they are utilized, if we end up installing them at different locations. So that was one of the brief revisions that they said. Otherwise, they endorsed the language. They feel that it will accomplish what we are trying to accomplish. So you can see 64 TAC 3.3 is the kind of the key provision there, talking about when that right-of-way is transferred at which type of crosswalk, an enhanced crosswalk. And then talking about that rationale a little bit, we did want to avoid, we have many trail crossings, and we did want to avoid those situations which the Road Commission also echoes for high-speed environments, what they call some high-intensity, high-speed, lower visibility, and things like that, to not have a stop for pedestrian requirement at a lot of our trail crossings in some of the more rural areas. So I developed the enhanced designation and then the regular crosswalk definition, which is included in there. So we did try to accomplish that. I checked with legal counsel on that, made sure it lined up with MVC and other statutes. And then also I double checked with the Road Commission. Once they learned about the enhanced title, they use the word enhanced for a few different things, some of their treatments and things like that. But once they learned about our take on it, they felt that it was effective to create an official capital E enhanced designation for a crosswalk. So you guys can see there's an implementation strategy that I kind of laid out there, designating these crosswalks, installation of the approved control devices, deployment of context-appropriate treatments. So we kind of talked about the different things that this opens us up to, the possibilities. This doesn't create the policy that we will utilize to deploy these things or to make these selections. It creates the law behind it that validates its use to the Road Commission. And that's one thing that they made very clear previously. So in-road signage, the stop for pedestrians, I call them the lollipops. They're the signs that are epoxy that can sway when hit. And then there's the roadside signage that could be located in the right-of-way, rectangular rapid flashing beacons, curb extensions, raised crosswalks. There's a lot of really unique different treatments that we call tactical urbanism. That can be even more inventive, but these are some of the ones that are actually documented in the MMUTCD, which is the Traffic Control Devices Manual. So just some possibilities. We have a lot of these in the township already, mainly curb extensions. We have some curb extensions here in the DDA. They're effective at slowing down traffic and reducing the crossing for pedestrians. So there's the ordinance adoption process that you guys see there, which is township policy. There's a couple things we'd have to iron out, just double checking with Julius and some of our requirements for the weight on the adoption if the language is satisfactory to you guys. But obviously this is the initial review. Then we would schedule a public hearing. A public notice would be sent out. We'd have the public hearing. If you guys did adopt it, then it would go into effect up to about 30 days after that notice is published. So I do have a recommended action for you guys there to discuss this draft ordinance, ask any questions of myself. Obviously, I just wanted to make note, there is a lot of additional provisions than just the ones I highlighted to you guys. Those are all provisions that were recommended by the Grand Valley Metro Council and some of those other communities to be relevant to adopt at this time. So talking about pedestrians leaving the curb at places other than marked crosswalks, and some of the behavior of the drivers. There's a big one with drivers overtaking people that are stopped at crosswalks that do stop for that, so we articulate that in here. Everything listed here is a civil infraction. That's what's recommended currently. That's what the Sheriff's Office did recommend as well. They can enforce. They're ready to do presence actions, so to post up at key locations and to show presence and enforce this is what they said. But you guys can see there are some additional provisions that are written there, crossing between adjacent intersections, operations of bicycles upon sidewalks or crosswalks, trying to take into account the way that people might be moving through these crosswalks. And then also one of the key ones, the trail crossing and yielding right of way there, where we talk specifically about people not having that right of way in there and giving kind of instructions there at those trail crossings. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions that you guys might have, and I'll try to answer to the best of my ability.
Kevin,
first of all, I want to say after almost 11 years, this is music to my ears after
Yeah.
bringing this up. This is wonderful.
How about
Okay,
after
a couple things. One of the things, it's perfect, wonderful, good. A couple questions.
Mm-hmm.
This addressed the ordinance, and the question is down the road is, what's a PR plan or comms plan in regards to two things? I think one is it does two issues. One is it lets our residents know that we care about them and care about the safety. Two is about letting them know things are changing. And I just want to make sure that we do kind of come up with something robust through either interview, other areas, publications that I think it gives a couple different reasons why we're doing it. But I think it's just,
Yeah,
I want to be successful.
I would love to see, like in the Ada view, that we put the whole ordinance, literally publish the ordinance in the Ada view.
Yeah.
Types of things they'll see, types of, traffic control devices coming up or things that they'll see in the future. And I think it just let everyone realize that it took a while. But I think what we've gotten as a result of it is really, I read it when I got the packet. It just made me smile reading it through it.
Good.
And I want to say thank you. This is no small undertaking, especially, I mean, as you all know, I have coffee hours with a lot of residents, and 9 times out of 10, the crosswalks and, pedestrian crossings are always an issue. And I do always share that information with you. This is very badly needed, and I know it's going to be completely embraced with open arms. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Dan, to your point, communication, PR, that is going to be important here. Education. If you guys are walking around out there, you probably get sometimes 50-50. I feel 50-50. I walk around here quite a lot. People stopping, other people just kind of rolling through. I do believe some of the treatments that we will go for, some of the education alone can move the needle, but with some of the treatments you can end up, hopefully at 100%, but then you get up 80, 90, even that is likely preventing a lot of horrible interactions with people, or at the worst, incidents. But being able, I think we have the opportunity to, utilize our safety officers between our, a lot of our social media, our website, which people are paying attention to, just getting it out there as much as possible. And even if we need to create some videos that we can disperse that are pleasant to watch, easy to send around to different platforms and stuff, so people understand that difference. But
As Bob and I talked about for years, we've dodged a bullet for this many years that nothing's happened, and I think I just am so grateful. Let's just keep that going, and we've been.
Another super quick sidebar, Lake Eastbrook, and we're by the dentist office, Best Buy, how that has that curve there, and there's a crosswalk there. And I was maybe 100 yards back, and all of a sudden I saw the lights flashing. And man, you can see those babies coming. And everybody stopped. It was pretty interesting.
yeah,
Great.
I have another suggestion. The Ada View schedule, I mean, we're about to go to the printer. I think that this is so valuable and so important. If you could put something together quickly, I mean, because this is a lot of information and important to get out to everybody.
Yep.
Maybe we could piggyback this with the next edition, because the following edition is in the fall. And I think that this would be very, very noteworthy information to advertise to people that it's coming.
Yeah.
We are working on it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you can do like a supplemental issue all by yourself, and we can piggyback it together.
So since the winter edition of 25, I have been mentioning pedestrian ordinance. So
Okay.
I've taught, and with Indescript, because of the creation and because of not being able to say that it will be approved and all this other stuff, I've talked about hearing your concerns, building on it, and then this last one, I do have one saying that it is being presented to you. Obviously, between the time tonight and the time it's in the mailbox is about a month. Hopefully, it will be in the time frame of after a public hearing, things like that. But public hearings are public hearings, so we never know. And I can't speak on that, but I think I can change the language a little bit in the article that I submitted to Aaron last week to talk about how it was presented, and depending on your guys' motion. If it was approved for a public hearing or something, that'd be the most that I could probably do without speaking, saying something that didn't occur, I think.
Got it, okay.
Did you see what TV 17 was doing on this last week?
Last week?
Yeah.
Was I on there?
No.
Okay.
I kind of wondered about that.
I meant to text it to you.
Okay.
But they also mentioned that we were going to, I believe, it was something to the effect, maybe I misheard it, but I was thinking that we were going to be talking about this today.
Okay.
And so I showed up here thinking that whole section there was gonna be filled. And it kind of surprised me.
Well, yeah, I believe Fox 17 came and talked to John a bit about some other things going on with planning, and then they did ask about any developments with pedestrian safety ordinance, and so I popped in and gave them the update that this was coming to to the board for the first reading. But they've been very a very good resource talking about PR and communication. When last year when I got the pilot program approved for Thornapple and Fays for that crossing, which still is set to be deployed with the opening of the south side of the park, they were very keen on that. They posted a lot about it. There was a lot of interaction with people underneath it, kind of talking about being excited for it and things like that. That will change a little bit based off of the timing of the finishing of the park and what we finish here, because obviously I want the best treatment for that location. But regardless, they've been a pretty good asset on some of the.
We may want to just let them know that you did this presentation today and that so forth. I thought what they presented was pretty fair, reasonable, and I thought this was pretty well done as well, including the where you've got a pedestrian that decides to dash out into the road, thinking that okay, all these cars have to stop now, and that he or she would be in violation doing that.
Yeah.
So someday I'll tell you a story that involves Dino Newville. I don't know if you know who he is.
I don't. Sorry.
And downtown Grand Rapids with a guy who did that, decided to run across the road in front of him.
Like you guys, sorry.
Just wanted to say, I mean, to Trustee Carter's point of, there not being a lot of public here regarding, this. It's kind of been the worst kept secret where we've talked about it for so many years. I mean, we've been saying it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Pedestrian safety is one of the top conversations we hear. And even before the work session group started, we had talked to the Grand Valley Metro Council and a lot of people in their non-motorized transportation department about the PR and the educational campaign, because this is not something that's going to be unique to Ada Township. I mean, we're starting it. We're kind of the first one out of the gate. But the reason the Metro Council put together the regional group was so they could get a framework, because we're going to be the first one, but after that, other communities are going to go through the door. And so they want to make sure that regionally they communicate. So not only will we be communicating to Ada residents, but also we'll be getting assistance from Grand Valley Metro Council and others to communicate to the region in terms of what is expected when you're in different communities. And the Road Commission has come a long way in terms of their acceptance. Every time Director Austin would come to me and he'd say, the Road Commission said this or this, and I'd say, are you sure? It's nice to see, it's refreshing to see years of work finally come to fruition.
Yeah, to your point, Julius, that group was very keen on the work that we were doing. There was municipalities in there saying, I want to see how it pans out. I want to, and interestingly, some of them are cities. I'm like, just go do it. What are you doing? We guys do a little bit more work. You guys can do it tomorrow. But to that point, the Road Commission is still establishing their metrics for when certain things can be deployed, and part of that, they're not going to, necessarily go hard and fast until, we start to establish some of those things as well. So, 35 miles an hour places that the speed is less than that, these kind of treatments are available. Once it gets above that, MMUTCD, which they hold to, doesn't allow certain treatments like that. There are other things that can be done, like certain higher speed islands and things like that, for places that deserve it. But the ones that we're trying to do for the places that we have the worst interactions for our residents, they said this is the way to open the door to all of that. And so we're going to walk through it. So.
And we've, one of the main points we talked about at length was the trail crossings where we don't want people stopping for pedestrians. We don't want someone on Pettis or someone on Honey Creek to have the expectation that they need to stop at any point. And so we've talked about signage we can put on the trail that's very clear, that lets them know that vehicles do not stop. And just trying to, again, communicate that, because we don't want someone to misinterpret what we're doing here and say, oh, well, I thought I could do that because of this, and then someone gets injured. We've been fortunate that, we haven't had any issues at those crossings, but as people become more emboldened by the new ordinance, it's going to take some time and some education to make sure that people understand it fully.
And this establishes the chapter that allows us to add additional ordinances as they become relevant. So this is primarily focused on crosswalks, but I anticipate next month, the year after that, the months after that, we're talking about e-bikes, we're talking about different utilizations. I know that's a big topic right now, but this is focused on crosswalks, and I think it's good for what it is. It's been reviewed, and we're excited to try to move forward with it. So.
I did find it ironic that the pedestrian safety ordinance is called traffic and vehicles.
Traffic and vehicles, yeah. Wasn't my recommendation
Instead of
technically,
pedestrian
but
safety.
yeah, maybe kind of narrow, which I keep it broad, so you can fill the chapter with everything that comes up. Yeah.
Good work.
The recommendation is still we discuss it, direct any desired revisions or clarifications, and then approve a motion to accept the draft ordinance language as amended with the slight amendment that he's proposing, and authorize publication of a notice and scheduling of a public hearing to consider adoption. So that's the motion that I'm going to ask someone to consider.
Moved.
Support.
Gladly.
Support.
All right, so we have the motion by trustee Hurwitz, supported by trustee Prose, to accept the draft ordinance language for pedestrian safety as amended, and authorize publication of a notice and scheduling of a public hearing to consider adoption. Does that need a roll call, or do you want?
No.
I actually have a comment, if I could just ask a couple questions. Sorry, Kevin, I didn't mean you to sit down. I just want to preface my comments. I agree with all the other board member comments and that this is a long time coming. I just want some clarity, or at least some direction in regards to some of the items within the ordinance itself, such as the enhanced crosswalk, where they're asking for, it sounds like, stop for pedestrian signs or a rectangle or similar traffic control. Do we have to get approval from the road commission for these signs? Do we have any say in regards to aesthetically what these look like, or are they just going to be the bright yellow? And I understand that, they have to get people's attention, but I also, based on your comment of tactical urbanism, not sure if that scares me a little bit in regards to the signs. So can you speak to that a little bit in regards to what we know, in regards to what they will allow us, or how creative we can be?
Yeah, so the MMUTCD, which is the Michigan Manual for Uniform Traffic Code devices, that's the manual that decides the signs, the color, the content, the way it's written. They cling to that pretty religiously, and I think there will still be some points where I'd like some discretion, or I'd like them to have some flexibility and discretion on some of that. But they, when I first presented this to them, they talked about, well, MMUTCD, like we're really not going to allow things that aren't in line with the verbiage, the shape, the sizes, the location on some of the stuff. So they mentioned the inroad signage is talked about quite a lot in MMUTCD. So the lollipops and the way that you can stack certain things under a pedestrian crossing sign. Some of them have the arrows. Some of them have stop for pedestrian state law, and different things like that. Providing for seasonal effects. So we are not going to put $200 signs in the middle to get smoked by snow plows. We'd have to provide for that. I want to make sure that enforcement is very clear, that it doesn't end in the winter, that it's still stopped for pedestrian, and figuring out what the MMUTCD will allow for that. But that is something that they're really clinging to. So aesthetically, they'll be referencing that document for the type of things that are deployed for that. So
we'll probably be looking at something that's noted in your packet in the ordinance, such as these signs.
Yes. So
the likelihood of them being like a bright fluorescent orange are probably pretty high, I would imagine, at this point.
Yes. Yeah. All the typical. Yeah. It's pretty much.
I don't want to get my
standard,
hopes up too high.
Sure.
And then the second thing is just in section 64-33 pedestrians, the right-of-way and enhanced crosswalk. I guess I'm just a little concerned because if I'm reading this right, any pedestrian stopped at the approach leading to an enhanced crosswalk, the traffic will have to stop.
Correct. Yep. That was a recommendation by, I would have asked for that regardless, but it was a recommendation by Grand Valley Metro Council and some of those other communities that the current behavior where people are just standing there waiting, because Michigan law does require cars to stop once you put your body out
Correct.
in front
And
of
that
the car.
would be a regular crosswalk.
So the regular crosswalks do not have that right of way. So when somebody is stopped at an enhanced crosswalk, the one that is depicted with the things that we talk about, with the stop for pedestrians and things like that, if they are at the approach to the crosswalk, then it is the car's responsibility to stop and give that right of way.
I just find that's going to be very hard for individuals to differentiate between an enhanced and a regular.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my comments. Thank you.
Gotcha. Yep.
Anybody else? Okay, this is not a roll call necessarily, right?
No.
Okay, so,
This is just a schedule.
yeah, this, because we're scheduling, yes, correct.
The only note I would make, so I mean, as Director Austin works through his schedule, so we have 2 board meetings in May, one on May 11th, and then one, I think, on the 20-something. I had heard before the meeting that we had 3 board members that were not going to be present for May 11th. And so my only concern would be which one are we scheduling for? Because once the publication goes live, and I didn't know what everyone else's availability is on the 11th, if we have 4 board members and we have 4 board members, I just want to make sure that we don't put Kevin in a situation where we schedule it for the 11th and then something happens and we're short quorum.
Mhm.
So I don't know if it'd be better to schedule it for the second meeting in May. I know that messes up your timeline a little bit, Kevin, sorry.
It looks like the second meeting in May is Memorial Day.
So it would be the Tuesday after.
Day after.
I was just gonna say, yeah, obviously the process is what we need to follow, and it gives us time to flesh things out. It gives the public time to show up and raise questions that maybe you guys didn't have, all the other stuff. It would be really great in the actual deployment of this, the timeline for deployment is not completely set either, once it would actually go into effect. But acquiring and planning to deploy at least the inroad signage, especially for our summer season of events, was the intent. So that would mean if it is a 30-day window after approval, so that would put us, if it was May 11, that would put us into the beginning of June. Beers of the Bridge is June 12th, and we got quite a slew of stuff after that, but that shouldn't affect the way that we analyze the ordinance and everything. It was just something to note, that hoping to get it in for our slew of high pedestrian activity in this year. So.
And we could schedule for the May 11th, and then if we hold the meeting, and we could hold the public hearing. If we end up canceling it, we would just have to post a new notice.
Correct, and additionally, if we find that there's something surfaces in the public hearing that we're not anticipating, I think this is such a unanimous overall community concept that we could always action a second public hearing if we wanted to as well. So consequently, I think we should put it on the agenda for the 11th and try to move it forward, especially if the motion that's on the floor passes unanimously. I don't think there should be any issue. Okay, so with that said, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously, so that we just approved the public hearing for the 11th of May. Okay. Thank you for your hard work. Okay, so now we're at the department reports. Supervisor Sushi, do you have anything you want specifically to talk about that's in your report?
I definitely don't want to be Supervisor Suchi.
Oh, I'm sorry, manager.
I'm good where I'm at. Yep, thank you Supervisor Korth. Just a couple updates. 3 Mile Road residents should have received a letter. I don't know, Dan, if you received a letter in your mailbox.
I don't know.
Well, that's comforting.
Yeah.
But I did mail letters to everyone on 3 Mile Road between Pettus and Egypt Valley. And so we're gonna continue to communicate to those residents. So we had some really good pictures from Conservation Boardwalk. They've been moving pretty quickly. And wanted to touch on Justin's comments regarding the gun club. So we do have a date scheduled. I believe Steve, our legal counsel, was supposed to get us an update today, and we were going to send that your way. I know we had a couple residents who had emailed over the weekend, and it is difficult. I mean, I'm not going to lie, when we talk about the timing, if an event is supposed to end at 5 o'clock or 5:30 or whenever, and if shots are still going off at 5:45 and we receive notice, I mean, really it's about how do we manage this moving forward. And so I completely agree with your comments that it is difficult. It's, even having a court order, it was a lengthy process to find someone that would do the review inspection, agree on who would do that, and then also wait post-winter months. So I do apologize for the delay. We are making progress. I anticipate in the next couple weeks that will be completed. And then once we have that report, that'll be shared with the board. And then, that'll be a public document as well, and that will be shared with the public. And we'll probably put something on our website regarding it as well. So we'll continue to stay in communication, but I understand the frustration. And I'm happy to answer questions from the board if anyone has them. And the alligator was back at the park. I don't know if anyone saw him.
I saw a post on that on next door.
Oh, did you? Were people upset or happy?
They were just wondering, like, who stole it.
Oh.
I'm like, what?
He tried to cross the road. He didn't make it.
Need a sign?
Okay, would any members of the board like to make any comments on any other topics?
I do want to say two quick things. One is welcome to the planning commission. And secondly, I want to thank you so much for recognizing James Moyer for his time served. And James has been a tremendous asset to this community in a multitude of ways. I want to share with him that when I talked to him that you said those were kind words for him. And
Yeah, he became I didn't know him before he was on the planning commission, and I consider him to be a very good friend, so.
I just want to thank you so much for recognizing that.
Could I mention one thing regarding the cemeteries and our committee? We haven't met in a while, but I've been sending you photos and giving you updates with all the progress that we've made. And last week, I gave you all last meeting rather, I gave you all a whole bunch of photocopies of work that's been completed and where we're going. And I asked if there were any questions or anything. I know we had a super long agenda last meeting, so anybody have any questions after you've had a chance to look at the photos? And we are
Moving along.
it is moving along, and it's looking great. And by the way, we're getting people have stopped in just to say, wow, it looks great, what's next, and all that. So it's being very well received.
Good.
Okay, at this time, I would like to, because we need to go into a closed session, I'd like to give the public one more opportunity for additional public comment. Would anyone in the public like to come up one more time or again to make any comments?
Thanks, I was gonna have to stick around and understand. I appreciate the sentiments, Julius. I feel like, though that may be missing the forest for the trees, while 5:30 is certainly an annoyance, the concern here is safety, y'all. Just quite frankly, there is a long gun range, the long range, whatever it's called. The overshot goes into our backyards. So we're just on bot time now when the unthinkable happens. So yes, 5:30, 5:45 shoots on a Saturday, yeah, those are super frustrating. But you know what's not gonna be frustrating is when the family of kids that just moved in who don't know the boundary find themselves on the wrong end of that shot going down. And I appreciate that it takes time to find an inspector who is willing to fill whatever parameters, but you don't work for the gun club, you work for the residents, and that's not our problem that the gun club can't come to some kind of terms. There's other things that can be done, and I find it so frustrating to hear that 8 months sounds like an acceptable amount of time to act on anything. And again, that's not our problem that it's taking 8 months. And there's a duty from this board to protect these residents, and there's other things that can be done. it's not my job to inform the board on what other things can be done. So I would trust that you all would have those discussions internally. But there are things that can be done, and I would impress the board or express the board to use all those tools and resources available to protect the residents in light of this extended time to find whatever it is for this safety inspection. That is, quite frankly, long overdue.
All right, thank you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and, unless anyone else is going to come up, I'm going to close the second public comment session. And I'm going to ask for a motion to go into closed session. Once we go into closed session, we hold that here, so we will ask the public to, and obviously all of our team members here, to go home for the evening. Okay? So would someone move to go
I
into?
will make a motion to go into, to close the public board meeting and go into the closed session.
Support.
We have a motion by Clerk DeMarco, supported by Trustee Damster, to go into closed session at 8:01 p.m. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We are in closed session.